mind. If you want to practice Citta Nupassana contemplation of mind, how you should practice? Ithincha bhikkhu bhikkhu citta nupasi viharati. In this way Buddha gave one question. How a bhikkhu avoids contemplating mind as mind? How does a bhikkhu avoid contemplating mind as mind? So Buddha explains 16 ways. 6. Ida bhikkhave bhikkhu saragava caitan saraga caitanti pajanati vida ragava caitan vida raga caitanti pajanati. This is one pair. In this dispensation, a bhikkhu avoids contemplating mind as mind. He understands, in this dispensation, a bhikkhu understands mind with lust, as mind with lust. He understands mind free from lust, as free from lust. So, in this case, mind with lust is Lobha Mula Citta. 8 types of Lobha Mula Citta. Rooted in greed, lust or attachment. 8 types of Lobha Mula Citta rooted in greed, Lobha. Sister Susila explains. What called? Brojata. But I cannot explain with Brojata. So there are 4 types are associated with wrong view. 4 types are not associated with wrong view. 4 types associated with wrong view, there are fundamentally 2 types. Associated with happiness feeling or associated with neutral feeling. In each case, prompted and unprompted. Altogether, there are 4 types. For example, some persons in this world, they believe that if they see their children's face, this seeing is the path leading to be reborn in heaven. So with such belief, they enjoy sensual pleasures. They try to see their children's face. Is it true? Such type of belief is called wrong view, Ditti. So with such type of wrong view, they enjoy sensual pleasures. That enjoyment or attachment is called lust. So the mind is associated with lust as well as associated with wrong view. But when you are contemplating such mind with lust, you should try to understand 2 fundamental factors. Number 1 is you must already discern. You should already discern ultimate materiality. This is 1. Another is when you discern lust or greed, lobha, you should not also discern only lobha or greed or lust. You must discern with associated mental factors together. How many associated mental factors are there? There are usually 20 or 22 associated mental factors. So there are 7 universals, 7 okay, they got miscellaneous 6 miscellaneous mental feathers or 6 occasional feathers. Then 4 universal unwholesome mental feathers, and number 1 is deity around you, another is lobha, lust or greed. Together with consciousness, they are altogether 20. Sometimes, if someone prompted to you to rouse this lust, then there may be sloth and toba. So 20 or 22 there may be. So these 20 are what mental formations, Sister Susila explained in detail. So because of this reason, if you learn Abhidhamma, then you can understand the meaning of Buddha. The teaching of the meaning of the teaching of Buddha. So when you are discerning these 20 mental formations, they arise as a cognitive process. You must discern this cognitive process also. What is cognitive process? Sister Susila explained 6 types of cognitive process. I do cognitive process, ear do cognitive process, nose do cognitive process, tongue do cognitive process, body do cognitive process, mind do cognitive process. Altogether 6 cognitive process. Taking kala also you may have attachment or lust. Your mind is with lust. Taking color, taking sound, taking smell, taking taste, or taking tangible object, or taking my object, or Dhamma objects. Lust can arise in your mind because of unwise attention. Depending on this unwise attention, these different types of consciousness will arise rooted in lust. Unwise attention is if you believe, seeing the face of children, this is the path leading to be reborn in heaven. Such type of belief based on unwise attention. What is unwise attention? At the day, if you pay attention, this is son, this is daughter, this is also unwise attention. If you pay attention, there is devas, this is also unwise attention. According to Buddha's teaching, if you can discern 4 elements systematically in son's or daughter's body, you can see only small particles, kalabas. If you can analyze these kalabas, you can see only ultimate materiality. Again, if you can discern as a general and external, you can see ultimate mentality only. There is no son, there is no daughter, there is no deva, there is no man, there is no woman, etc. If you believe this is man, this is woman, this is son, this is daughter, etc., this is unwise attention. This is also, if you really believe, this is accompanied with wrong view taking. So because of this unwise attention, this lobha deity group, lust and wrong view group mental formations arise. Depending on unwise attention, this unwholesome dhammas arise. So because of this reason, if you want to discern these unwholesome dhammas, first you must already discern ultimate materiality. Why? These unwholesome dhammas arise depending on your heart base. If you cannot discern heart base, then you cannot easily understand the mind with lust. Because they arise depending on your heart base. When they arise depending on your heart base, they arise with associated mental formations. If you cannot discern your heart base, then you will be not able to understand these associated mental formations also. So because of this reason, if you want to practice Chaitanya contemplation of mind, first you must discern ultimate materiality. Secondly, you should try to discern not only less but also associated mental formations. While you are discerning these mental formations, you should also discern object. When the object appear in your mind, these different types of unwholesome dhammas will arise depending on your unwise attention. But when you are seeing Kala, oh, this is my son, this is my daughter, in this way, if you pay attention, this is also unwise attention. Depending on unwise attention, idle cognitive process also may arise. If you want to discern this idle cognitive process, number one, you must already discern eye sensitivity or eye transparent element. Number two, you should already discern mind going up. You should pay attention that Kala again. When that Kala impinges both doors, at that time only idle cognitive process will arise. When idle cognitive process arises, at that time your idle advancing consciousness pay attention, this is my son or this is my daughter. Then, depending on this unwise attention, then what happens? The decision consciousness also will decide this is my son or this is my daughter, etc. Because of this idle advancing consciousness decision, decision consciousness decision, then unwholesome jhanas will arise successively for 7 times. These unwholesome jhanas arise depending on your heart phase, but eye consciousness arises depending on your eye sensitivity or eye transparent element. If you do not understand eye transparent element as well as heart phase, then you cannot discern this idle cognitive process. In this idle cognitive process, except eye consciousness, the remaining different types of mind movements, such as idle advancing consciousness, receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, decision consciousness, 7 impulsions, into registering minds. They arise depending on only heart phase. Only on heart phase. So because of this reason, if you cannot discern eye transparent sensitivity as well as mind, then you cannot discern this idle cognitive process with less. So because of this reason, if you want to discern ultimate mentality, not in this case with less, rooted in lobha greed, then you must already discern ultimate mentality, ultimate materiality. Then you must discern less with associated mental formations according to cognitive process. At that time only you will understand the mind with less as the mind with less. This is one type of Chitta Anupassana only. In the same way, you may have attachment to your US dollar. So, if you believe this is my US dollar, this is from you. Really, if you believe, according to Buddha's teaching, if you can discern 4 elements in your US dollar, then you cannot see US dollar, you can see only just a group of small particles, kalabas. In each kalaba there is fire element, tejo. That fire element is, tejo is called temperature. That temperature produces new generations. Each temperature produces each new generation. In that generation there is also fire element, tejo, temperature. That temperature also produce another new generation. In each clubber, every fire element can produce every new generation. As long as they are producing in this way for a long time, then the US dollar will be always exist. But if they cannot produce new generation, there will be no US dollar. It will disappear. But these generations, if you analyze each generation, there are at least 8 types of materiality. Earth element, water element, fire element, wind element, color, odor, flavor, nutritive essence. These ultimate materialities in each clubber, as soon as they rise, they pass away quickly, very, very quickly. There is no time to tell this is US dollar. They are very, very quickly, they are nature impermanent. They are always oppressed by rising and passing away, so they are dukkha. There is no permanent entity, so they are anatta. If you want to see this true nature, then you must practice 4 elements meditation systematically, internally and externally both. But if you believe there is still US dollar, this is wrong view. If you have attachment, that attachment is called greed or lust. That greed or lust arise with associated mental formations only, not single. So if you want to discern this lust, you must discern with associated mental formations according to cognitive process. When you, in the same way, when you hear a song, if you understand this is a song, no much problem. But this song is very good. This is my son's song. This is my daughter's song. In this way, if you pay attention, this is problem. This is associated with loba as well as with wrong view. There are 20 mental formations. You should try to design these 20 mental formations according to cognitive process. If you smell in order, in the same way, if you believe, oh, this is my son's smell, this is my daughter's smell, etc., this is also wrong view. If you can discern smell as smell only, no much problem. But this smell is very beautiful. This smell is very sweet. In this way, if you pay attention, this is unwise attention. Depending on unwise attention, there may be different types of lust. In the same way, if you taste any food, you may have sexual attachment. Oh, this is very good. This is potato, or this is chicken, or this is beef, etc. If you believe, this is wrong view. But if you have no wrong view, then if you have still attachment, this is lust without wrong view only. So, if you feel tangible objects, in the same way, you may have wrong view as well as lust. Oh, this is very good, very sweet tangible object. Very good tangible object. In this way, you may feel. Oh, this is whose tangible object? You may do not pay attention. This is tangible object. You may pay attention. This is my son. This is my daughter. This is my wife. This is my husband, etc. This is wrong view. Depending on this wrong view, you may have sexual attachment to that object. So, depending on different 6 types of objects, 6 cognitive processes may arise with lust. When this appears in your mind, you must understand the mind with lust arises in me. At that time, if you want to understand thoroughly, then you should try to discern, number 1, mind do, as well as maybe eye do, or ear do, nose do, or tongue do, or body do. And then you should try to discern this object, color or odor, color, sound, odor, flavor, nutritive, etc. These objects also you must discern. When these different types of objects impinge both those, at that time only endo-cognitive process or ear-cognitive process, nose-cognitive process, tongue-cognitive process, mind-cognitive process will arise, together with associated mental informations according to respective cognitive process. So, at that time, if you can discern this mind with lust, at that time only we can say you understand the mind with lust as the mind with lust. But if you cannot discern, only if you know lust only, it is not enough. Not enough means you cannot break down the compactness of mentality. If you cannot break down the compactness of the mentality as a group, if you understand this is, you cannot discern ultimate mentality of ultimate truth. If you want to discern ultimate mentality or ultimate truth, then you should try number one, to discern ultimate materiality first. Secondly, you must discern not only lust, you must also discern associated mental formations according to cognitive process. At that time only you will understand the mind with lust as the mind with lust. In the same way, another is he understands the mind free from lust as the mind free from lust. This is second. The mind free from lust is which mind? Maybe according to cognitive process, if we say, then you will understand clearly. For example, endo-cognitive process. Number one is phyto-adverting consciousness. This is functional. This state also free from lust. Why? In functional mind movement, in that phyto-adverting mind movement, there are 11 mental formations only. Among these 11 mental formations, there is no lust. So because of this reason, this phyto-adverting consciousness is also the mind free from lust. In the same way, after a phyto-adverting consciousness, there is unconsciousness. In the moment of unconsciousness, there are 8 mental formations only. Number one, unconsciousness. Number two, contact. Number three, feeling, neutral feeling. Number four, perception. Number five, volition, kirana. Number six, manasikara, attention. Number seven, life faculty, chivita. Number eight, one-pointedness, ekagata. Altogether 8 mental factors only. Among these 8 mental factors, there is no lust. So this unconsciousness also free from lust. In the same way, receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, decision consciousness, at that time also there is no lust. So they are also free from lust. Unconsciousness, receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, decision, these three are resulting consciousness, vipaka cheta. Phyto-adverting consciousness, decision consciousness, these two are functional cheta, kriya cheta. So they are free from lust. In the same way, after 7 javanas, there may be sometimes occasionally 2 registering minds. They are also resultant status, resultant consciousness. There is no function, and there is no lust. They are free from lust. They are the mind free from lust. In the middle, there may be jhanas. But if you have right wise attention, yoniso manasikara, these jhanas sometimes can be wholesome or functional. If they are become wholesome jhanas or functional jhanas, they are also free from lust. Wholesome consciousness are such as when you are donating, when doing generosity, and then also wholesome consciousness. When you are observing your virtue, and then also wholesome consciousness. When you are meditating, samatha or vipassana, and then also wholesome consciousness. They are free from lust, this consciousness. But if the jhana is functional jhana, this is only belong to arhats only. For Buddha jhanas, no functional jhana. So, if you gain this cognitive process, cognitive process, etc., in that angular cognitive process, wholesome jhanas arise. Then at that time, we can say you are understanding the mind free from lust. We can say only. So, if you gain this sixth cognitive process in the same way, then we can say you understand the mind with lust as the mind with lust, or you understand mind free from lust as free from lust. In this way only. In the same way, another vaya, yes, also another vaya. Sa-dosa wa chaitan, sa-dosa chaitanti pajanati. Vida dosa wa chaitan, vida dosa chaitanti pajanati. This is one vaya. Sa-dosa chaitan. He understands the mind with anger or hatred. Hate. As mind with anger or hate. Or he understands mind free from anger or hate. As mind free from anger or hate. This is one vaya. The mind with anger is dosa mula chika, rooted in dosa, anger or hate. There are two types of dosa mula chika. Sister Susila explained in detail. So, if you want to discern this mind with anger, how you should try to discern? Taking different 6 types of objects. If you have unwise attention, then dosa may arise, anger may arise. Unwise attention means, for example, if you see one person, oh, this is my enemy. If you pay attention in this way, this is called unwise attention. Depending on unwise attention, 7 jhanas will be associated with anger or hate. If you want to discern this anger, number 1, you must discern ultimate materiality, because this anger arises depending on heart base. Without discerning heart base, you cannot understand anger. This is one. When you discern anger, you must discern not only anger but also associated mental formations. Because of this reason, if you already had been discerned ultimate materiality, at that time you will understand the anger which arises depending on heart base. Again, you must discern object, depending on which object this anger arises. So, if you want to discern anger, then, for example, seeing color, you cannot pay attention color. If you, for example, one color you don't like, anger may arise. At that time, you should discern eye sensitivity first. Secondly, mind point up. Then you should pay attention to this color. When this color invades both those, at that time, idle cognitive process, after that many pointers, then after the mindful cognitive process will arise. Among this cognitive process, 7 jhanas are associated with anger. Why? You don't like this color. Why you don't like this color? Maybe as a child, school boys. Sometimes they may put dirty eggs on others' paper. For example, this is color. The other time feel unhappiness, a lot of anger may arise. So, he put dirtiness to my paper, so he don't like. He, like that he pay attention, he don't like this color. So if you want to design this anger, then you should again pay attention to this color. Well, if you want to design this color, then first, before you are designing this color, first you must design eye sensitivity or eye transfer element. Number 2, going up window. Then if you should pay attention to this color, when this color impedes both those, other than endocognitive process as well as mindocognitive process will arise. Among these cognitive process, advancing consciousness as well as decision consciousness, mind-advancing consciousness, if they decide this color, he does this color as a unwise addition, then unwholesome tamas will arise. Dosa. So, without discerning number 1, which mind-do and I-do, without discerning object color, you cannot discern thoroughly this this anger thoroughly. So if you want to discern thoroughly anger with associated mental formations which arise according to cognitive process, then first you must discern ultimate materiality, especially base, eye sensitivity and mind. Number 2, color. When color impedes both those, at that time only this cognitive process including dosa, anger will arise. So at that time only we can say you understand mind with anger as mind with anger. In the same way, another is he understands mind free from anger as free from anger. This is another. Which type of mind? Maybe functional, 2 types of functional. Mind-advancing consciousness, mind-advancing consciousness, or decision consciousness. Decision consciousness and mind-advancing consciousness, these 2 are same type of consciousness. So these 2 are functional. The remaining resulting consciousness such as eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness, receiving consciousness, investigating consciousness, registering consciousness, these all are resultant. They are also mind free from anger. Wholesome consciousness, they are also mind free from anger only. Among these wholesome consciousness, jhana wholesome tamas also include. They are also free from anger only. So, if you want to discern mind free from anger as mind free from anger, at that time also you should try to discern ultimate materiality, or in other words, base and object together. At that time only you will be able to discern this ultimate materiality. This is second pair. Now number 3 pair is Samoha wa Chaitan Samoha Chaitandi Pajanadi. Vida Moha wa Chaitan Vida Moha Chaitandi Pajanadi. He understands mind with delusion as mind with delusion. He understands mind free from delusion as free from delusion. This is one pair. Samoha Chaitanya. The consciousness associated with moha delusion is 2 types only. One type is associated with doubt, vicikiccha. Another type is associated with uddhacca, restlessness. So these 2 types of mind movement also in the same way you must discern. These 2 types of mind movements are also arise depending on 6 bases. arise depending on heart pace, but they arise depending, although they arise depending on heart pace, they arise taking 6 types of object: color, odor, color, sound, smell, taste, tangible object, intimate object. So you must discern both those simultaneously. At that time only you will understand the mind with delusion as mind with delusion. Delusion means you do not understand ultimate materiality. Ultimate materiality means you cannot penetrate ultimate materiality. You understand only just man, woman, son, daughter, etc. only. If you understand man, woman, son, daughter, etc., this is also delusion. What is the difference between Diti, wrong view, and delusion? Moha. If you believe this is man, this is woman, this is son, this is daughter, this is wrong view. If you know or understand this is man, this is woman, this is son, this is daughter, etc., this is delusion. They are very close to each other. Wrong view is believing only. Moha, delusion is knowing wrongly only, but there is no belief. If you believe, then this is wrong view Diti. If you not believe, only just knowing wrongly, this is called delusion only. So, if you want to discern this moha, for example, there's Vijigicca doubt. Buddha is really Buddha or not, really enlightened one or not. In this way you may have doubt. If you want to discern this doubt, first you must try to discern your heart pace or mind. You should pay attention to this object, Buddha object again. Whether this Buddha is really enlightened one or not. In this way, if you pay attention, then this delusion will arise together with doubt, Vijigicca. In the same way, there is past life. Whether really there is past life or not, in this way you may have doubt. Whether there is really future life or not, future existence is real or not, in this way you may have doubt. Then if you have doubt, if you want to discern this doubt, then you should try to discern mind. Then again you must discern this future existence. When future existence appear in your mind at that time, this delusion together with doubt will arise. So, if you want to discern this delusion and doubt, then number one, you should try to discern ultimate materiality. Number two, you must discern not only doubt or not only delusion, but with associated mental formations, you must discern this doubt or delusion. After that only you will understand he understand mind with delusion as mind with delusion. But another side is mind free from delusion. He understands mind free from delusion as mind free from delusion. This is in the same way functional consciousness, resulting consciousness, wholesome consciousness, etc. only. These consciousness also you must discern. So altogether there are 3 payas. Number one, mind with lust, mind free from lust. Number two, mind with anger, mind free from anger. This is the second paya. Now, mind with delusion, mind free from delusion. This is altogether 6 finished. These are unwholesome, especially fundamentally unwholesome dhammas, and the remaining consciousness. The remaining means altogether there are 89 types of consciousness only. Among 89, supramundane, 8 types of supramundane consciousness, Lokuttara-Cetas, are not the object of insight. So the all mundane 81 consciousness are the object of insight. Among these Monday 81. Functional jhanas, usually functional jhanas belong to only arhats. So it is not necessary to discern. In the same way, five material resultant consciousness, 4 immaterial resultant consciousness, they are not belong to you. They are not the object of your meditation and insight, your insight knowledge. They can contemplate for those who attain that plane only. If one person attain in Rupa world or Arupa world, at that time only they can discern these 2 types of consciousness. So, roughly, if you want to discern this mind free from lust, mind free from anger, mind free from delusion, then 6 door cognitive process only you should discern. Among these 6 door cognitive process, there are functional consciousness, resulting consciousness, as well as wholesome consciousness, wholesome jhanas. This only, if you can discern this only, it will be enough. Another pair is Sankhita Vajjita Sankhita Chitanti Bhajanati Vikita Vajjita Vikita Chitanti Bhajanati. Sankhita Chitta is distracted mind, shrinking mind. Mind shrinks from the object. This is associated with sloth and tomba. Vikita Chitta is restless mind. This is associated with Udhija, restless. So these 2 types of mind are, in other words, they are also wholesome tamas. Sloth and Toba is associated with Lobha, 8 types of Lobha, as well as 2 types of Dosa. Restless mind associated with 12 types of wholesome consciousness. So if you can discern these 12 types of wholesome consciousness, then it will be include Sankhita Chitta as well as Vikita Chitta. Distracted mind and restless mind both will be included. So, if you understand this way of teaching, according to my explanation, then if you want to understand clearly Buddha's teaching, then Abhidhamma is necessary. Do you understand? Yes, without understanding Abhidhamma, you will not understand, you will not catch the meaning of Buddha's teaching. What Buddha's teaching? Mind, Chitta-Nupassana, what is Chitta-Nupassana? Just maybe watching the mind, going here, there, going here, there. This is not enough. This is not enough. If you want to discern according to Buddha's teaching, then you must try to understand Abhidhamma. So, because of this reason, your sister Susila famous. She teaches Abhidhamma well. Very good. So you should try to understand Abhidhamma also. Another pair, 4 pairs there. Mahagada Vajjita Mahagada Chitanti Bhajanati. Amahagada Vajjita Amahagada Chitanti Bhajanati. He understands exalted mind as exalted mind. He understands exalted mind as exalted mind. What is exalted mind? Mahagada Chitta is 5 material consciousness and immaterial consciousness, these 2 only. So if now some meditators, they are practicing jhanas, 1st jhana, 2nd jhana, 3rd jhana, 4th jhana. These are 5 material jhana consciousness. They boundless space consciousness jhana. And the base of boundless jhana, the base of boundless consciousness jhana, the base of nothingness jhana, the base of neither perception nor perception jhana. These are 4 immaterial jhanas. If you can discern these 8 types, 8 attainments, then we can say, oh, you understand exalted mind as exalted mind. Why they are called exalted? They are superior mind, not inferior mind. Tomorrow I will go back. This is inferior mind, not superior mind. This mind can be strong, powerful, supporting cause for attainment of Nibbana. Why? Now you may understand. Now you practice 4 elements meditation. One person do not practice jhana. Another person practice jhana. So, one person practice jhana up to 8 attainments. Think Kasina's 8 attainments. Then if he practice 4 elements meditation, very, very quickly he can see kalabhas. He can analyze kalabhas very, very quickly. But another person do not practice jhana. Only directly practice 4 elements meditation. To see kalabhas, it will take long time. Long time, how long? We cannot say exactly, depending on their parami. For some meditators, more than 2 weeks. For some meditators, more than 1 month, 2 months, etc. So, there is very different. Different means concentrated mind and unconcentrated mind. Concentrated mind can be the strong, powerful supporting cause for understanding of ultimate mentality, materiality, their causes. Unconcentrated mind cannot be the fundamental cause for understanding of ultimate mentality, materiality, and their causes. So very completely different. So because of this reason, Buddha many times asked, Samadhi bhikkhue bhaveta samahito bhikkhue bhikkhu yatha buddham bhajanati. Bhikkhus cultivate concentration or develop concentration. A bhikkhu who is concentrated understands the Dhammas as they really are. This is true. If they have no concentration to understand Dhammas as they really are, it's not possible. Why? Concentrated mind can produce strong, powerful light. This light is called the light of wisdom. With the assistance of the light of wisdom, if you discern ultimate mentality or ultimate materiality, it will be very easy. Very easy means you can discern clearly. But if there is no light, maybe if you go in the dark, there is no light, it is not easy, you cannot go straightly. Right way. In the same way, if you have strong, powerful light, if you discern ultimate mentality, ultimate materiality, you can clearly see under the light. But without the light of wisdom, if you discern ultimate mentality, ultimate materiality, then you cannot see clearly. Clearly means, for example, if you practice Chaitanya-nupassana, contemplating of mind, oh, mind, you are watching mind, go. This is lobha, this is dosa, this is moha. In this way you may understand partially. But how many associated mental formations are there? You will not understand. Then, which cognitive process you will not understand? Why? You have no enough concentration. Enough concentrated mind can be the strong, powerful supporting cause for right understanding, samadhi. So because of this reason, Buddha many times asked bhikkhus to develop concentration. So if you, because of this reason, this is one type of supporting cause for understanding of ultimate mentality, ultimate material and their causes. To see nature, dukkha, anatta, nature of these formations. Not only that, based on this concentration. If you practice vipassana systematically, one day you may realize nibbana, depending on your parami. So up to nibbana, this is the strong powerful supporting cause. If this jhana, the strong powerful supporting cause for attainment of nibbana, then we should condemn this jhana. Should we condemn this jhana? We should not condemn. This is one. Another reason is if you can maintain this jhana up to that moment, this jhana can produce to be reborn in Brahma, which is better to be reborn in animal world and to be reborn in Brahma. Yes, you can clearly distinguish this results. So because of this reason, this jhana dhammas are called exalted mind. The remaining consciousness of mind is called exalted mind. The remaining sensual, sensual consciousness only. What are sensual consciousness? I do cognitive process, ear do cognitive process, nose do, tongue do, body do consciousness. These are sensual consciousness, mind. Another is without jhana, there is also mind do cognitive process. They are also called sensual consciousness. These consciousness are called exalted mind. Why? And I know that. One type of wholesome jhanas are ready, or it is taking place the last jhana we call Maranasana jhana, that proximate jhana. It is sure that person will be reborn after that in one of woeful states. This is sure. If that proximate jhana is wholesome jhana, it is sure to be reborn in good place such as human world, deva world, or if this jhana is sure to be jhana, it will be reborn in Brahma world. So, for those who have no much heavy kruga karma, heavy karmas, such as killing mother, father, etc. Then this death proximate moment is very important moment. It is tension. You must go there, you must go there. In this way, decision is in that moment only. But if you prabhaya thoroughly, prabhaya means if you prabhaya your mind thoroughly means if you practice samatha vipassana, if you gain desa ultimate mentality, if you gain desa ultimate materiality and their causes, this is called nama rupa paricheda jnana and pichabrika jnana. This analyzing ultimate mentality, materiality and discerning cause and effect. These two types of jnanas, if you thoroughly understand, it is sure you will reborn in good place. Another is if you practice vipassana thoroughly up to Sankarupaka jnana stage, it is also sure you will be reborn in good place. And second future existence, coming future existence, it is sure you will realize Nibbana. But in this very life, if you practice up to Sotapanna stage, or path improving knowledge stage, your path improving knowledge will realize Nibbana. If you become Sotapanna, it is sure. Within 7 lives, you may attain Nibbana. You can become Rahat. So, these are sure karmas, definite karmas. Other karmas, dana, sila, or maybe without jhana, samatha, they are not sure. But jhanas are also sure, but if you can maintain up to that moment only. Before that moment, if jhana fall down, it is also not sure, like Penariva Devadatta. He attained means as well as quite mundane sex powers, but before that moment these jhanas fall down. So because of this reason, these jhanas cannot save him. Because of his secession in Sangha, he go down to hell. So because of this reason, you should prepare, because we must accept, if we can, as long as we do not yet attain hardship, we must accept one future existence. Which future existence do you want? Do you want which future existence? So you should ask this question to yourself again and again. If you want to go to Myanmar, you should have enough air ticket. Is it true? If you want to go to England, you should have enough air ticket. So you should prepare this air ticket before that. Near that proximate, if you try, it is not sure. So please try. So Sankheta Bhagata Cheta, Amagata Cheta. The one prayer. If you want to discern this Bhagata Cheta, Janatamas, how you should discern? For example, Anapana. You are practicing Anapana, for example, up to 4th jhana. So if you want to discern this Janatamas, then you should try Anapana again. Taking Anapana Pratibhaga as object, you should try up to full absorption stage. Imagine from full absorption stage, you should discern your Bhuanga. In Bhuanga, this Anapana Pratibhaga appears, other than you can discern this Janatamas. While you are practicing samatha, you already discern 5 jhana padas clearly. So because of this reason, other than if you discern jhana dhammas, it will be not so difficult. The 5 jhana dhammas are usually 34. These 34 are Sister Susila explained in detail. So these 34 arise according to cognitive process. This cognitive jhana cognitive process, jhana attainment cognitive process also you must discern. Then at the day, we can say you understand exalted mind as exalted mind. But you have no jhana. You cannot enter into jhana. How you can discern this exalted mind? Can you discern? It is impossible. So this is very good Buddha's instruction. Very powerful instruction. Encouraging his disciples to discern, but not for attainment. How Buddha teach to discern this? Why Buddha teach to discern this exalted mind? His intention is for realization of Nibbana only. Why? If you can discern this jhana dhammas, then again you must contemplate them as nature, dukkha, anatta. Especially if you reach Sankharupaka jnana stage. The knowledge of equanimity towards formations. At that time, you have a lot equanimous mind. At that time, if you emphasize jhana dhammas as nature or dukkha or anatta, or especially anatta, at that time, this jhana is a strong, powerful supporting cause for realization of nibbana. This is very good way of practice. So because of this reason, this is jhana dhammas are called exalted mind, Bhagata Cheta. They what called maybe they your life, they produce your life higher and higher, stage by stage. These jhana dhammas are strong, powerful supporting cause for your future existence or for your attainment. For your attainment means if you began Sotapanna, then they also will be support for attaining Sakadagami stage. They will also support for Anagami stage. Again, they will also support for Arhat stage. So, to be higher and higher, they are strong, powerful supporting cause. Why? If you practice the jhana dhammas again and again, even this exalted mind also nature dukkha anatta. Others, it is not necessary to say nature dukkha anatta. You will understand clearly. Other than that, such type of clear understanding will be strong, powerful supporting cause to escape from the round of rebirth. If you want to escape from round of rebirth, even such powerful exalted mind also anicca dukkha anatta. An exalted mind is not necessary to say anicca dukkha anatta. You will understand clearly. So because of this reason, Buddha's intention is to contemplate them as anicca dukkha anatta only, not to enjoy jhana attainment. Another prayer is Sa Udran wa Chaita Sa Udran Chaitandi Bhajanadi Anudran wa Chaita Anudra Chaitandi Bhajanadi. In this case, Anudra Chaita is not Subramandi, only Mandi. Sa Udra means Sabha Ziva might be translated. He understands Sabha Ziva mind as Sabha Ziva mind. He understands Unsabha Ziva mind as Unsabha Ziva mind. Vinariva Bhikkhu body translate. He understands Sabha's mind as Sabha's mind. He understands Unsabha's mind as Unsabha's mind. Maybe same meaning and that's it. So, what is Sabha-Zival mind? This is sensual mind only. Kamavachara Chaita. What is Unsabha-Zival mind? This is Mahagara Chaita. Jhana attainments. Jhana Chaita. Jhana consciousness. You should remember in the same way. Then another prayer is concentrated mind and Samahita wa Chaita Samahita Chaitandi Bhajanadi. Asamahita wa Chaita Asamahita Chaitandi Bhajanadi. He understands concentrated mind as concentrated mind. He understands unconcentrated mind as unconcentrated mind. This is another way. What is concentrated? We can say you have concentrated mind. Then if you want to descend this concentrated mind, how you should try? You must enter into jhana. Maybe taking anabana or maybe kasina, any kasina as object. Imagine from jhana, this jhana dhammas you must descend. But if you want descend excess concentration, then you must try anabana nimitta, for example. You should not try up to full absorption stage. Before full absorption stage, you must try to descend Bhuanga. Other than also you can descend Bhuanga because you already descend Bhuanga many times. And then before jhana stage, absorption consciousness and excess concentration also you can descend, no problem. But real excess concentration is in jhana mind moment. When, for example, taking Anabana Paribhaga Nimitta as object, you must try to enter into Fat Jhana. Imagine from Fat Jhana you should descend Bhuanga. In Bhuanga, when Anabana Paribhaga Nimitta appear, the Jhana cognitive process, Jhana attainment cognitive process will arise. In that cognitive process, there is number one is mind-adverting consciousness. Number two is Parikama, preliminary concentration. This is excess concentration. Number three is Upachara. This is Nevahu concentration. This is also excess concentration. Then number four is Anuloma, adaptability consciousness. This is also excess concentration. And then Godrubu, containing of the lineage of worldly consciousness. This is also excess concentration. So Parigama, Upachara, Nuloma, Godrubu, these four are real excess concentration. So while you are descending jhana dhammas, not only you must descend jhana dhammas, but also you must descend this excess concentration. So because of this reason, Buddha says, Samahita wa Chaita, Samahita Chaitandi Bhajanadi. Asamahita wa Chaita, Asamahita Chaitandi Bhajanadi. He understands concentrated mind as concentrated mind. He understands unconcentrated mind as unconcentrated mind. This is one way. What is unconcentrated mind? Indo cognitive process, yado, nosto, tangido, bodido cognitive process without jhana. mind-cognitive process. These are unconcentrated minds. This unconcentrated mind also you must try to discern. At that time, if you can discern, according to cognitive process with associated mental formations, at that time only we can say you understand unconcentrated mind as unconcentrated mind only. Then another pair is Vimodha Chaita, Vimodha Chaitandi Bhajanati, Avimodha Chaita, Avimodha Chaitandi Bhajanati. Liberated, he understands the liberated mind as liberated mind. He understands unliberated mind as unliberated mind. What is liberation? Liberation from defilements. In this case, no liberation forever. Temporary liberation only. Temporary liberation means when you practice samatha vipassana, if you enter into jhana for 1 hour, for example, within 1 hour, if you can enter into jhana successfully about 1 hour, then within 1 hour, there's no defilements. You are temporarily free from defilements about 1 hour. If you can maintain your jhana 2 hours, 3 hours, etc., we can say you are mind free from defilements 2 hours, 3 hours, etc. So such type of mind, this is liberated mind. But there are also another liberated minds. When you are trying donation, at that time you have no attachment, you are requisite. Because of this reason, you can offer this to Pinarivas. At that time, you are mind temporarily free from liberation, attachment. In the same way, when you are observing your virtue, you do not get. At that time, you are mind free from defilement temporarily. How free? If you kill, then there will be a wholesome killing. If you do restrain not to kill, at that time, this unwholesome tamak will not arise in you. So you are temporarily free from unwholesome tamas. In the same way, if you observe many moralities, many silas, then at that time also your sila will be free from defilements temporarily. When you are practicing samatha, but you do not yet attain jhana. But if you can concentrate well on the object, at that time you are also temporarily free from defilements. In the same way, when you are practicing vipassana, you discern ultimate mentality, ultimate materiality in their causes as nature, dukkha, anatta. If you can contemplate them for about 1 hour, 2 hours continuously, at that time also you are mind free from defilements temporarily. So such way of liberated mind Buddha explained. Jhana dhammas also include. So this liberated mind you should understand as liberated mind. But there may be unliberated mind, sometimes mixed together or associated with defilements. So if there is unliberated mind, you should try to understand unliberated mind. So altogether, 8 pairs, 16 types of mentality, mind. If you see this mind, Buddha's instruction, then you may understand this. Among this instruction, you must contemplate not only wholesome dhammas, but you must also contemplate unwholesome dhammas. You must try not only to understand wholesome dhammas, you must also try to understand unwholesome dhammas. Why I say this? There's one problem. Some teachers say, if you contemplate unwholesome dhammas will increase. They say like that. But Buddha instructs, Saraga wa chaitan, Saraga chaitandi bhajanadi, Sadhosa wa chaitan, Sadhosa chaitandi bhajanadi, Samoha wa chaitan, Samoha chaitandi bhajanadi, etc. So, You must try to understand the mind with less as mind with less. You must try mind with anger as mind with anger. You must try to understand mind with delusion as delusion, as mind with delusion. In this way, Buddha also taught. Why? Sometimes some people, they have such strong attachment, their anger. My anger is not same with others. My anger is very strong. In this way, they have such strong attachment, their anger. So that they have such strong attachment to their greed, to their lover. Some parents, so that they say, oh, I have a lot of attachment to my son. I have a lot of attachment to my daughter. In this way, they say. Why? They have such strong attachment to another attachment. This is first attachment, then another attachment, then another attachment. In this way they say. So they have attachment to their attachment also. Because of this reason, oh, this attachment also, nature, dukkha, anatta, this anger also, nature, dukkha, anatta. In this way you must contemplate. At that time, this attachment, this anger will be slowly decreased. So for this reason, Buddha also gave instruction to his disciples to contemplate unwholesome dhammas also as nature, dukkha, anatta. So altogether 16 texts. Then Buddha continued. Iti ejadawa chaite chaitanupasi viharati. Bhidawa chaite chaitanupasi viharati. Ejada bhidawa chaite chaitanupasi viharati. In this way, a bhikkhu contemplate mind as mind internally, or he contemplate mind as mind externally, or he contemplate mind as mind both internally and externally. So, not only mind, you must also discern associated mental formations. Not only associated mental formations, only mind. You must also discern ultimate materiality also. In this case, ultimate materiality, ultimate mentality, both internally and externally. How you can discern external mind? This is question. As a general only. Inside knowledge cannot understand, cannot read another's mind. So as a general only. As a general man, you should not distinguish this is man, this is woman, etc. As a general and external, as a external, you should discern ultimate mentality only. How you should discern? This is practical knowledge. If you practice practically, at that time only you will understand. If we explain, it is not easy to understand. When you discern, for example, here I transfer sensitivity, here mind, you should discern both together. Then you should pay addition color. When color object image both those, at that time I cognitive will arise. In the same way, you should not distinguish whose I transparent, whose mind. It is not necessary to distinguish. As a general, you should transcend external eye sensitivity or I do. Then when got mind. Then you should pay addition color. When color embeds both those, the other then you will see this Indo cognitive process. Whose Indo cognitive process? It is not necessary to distinguish, only as a general. In this way you must discern this ultimate mentality, ultimate materiality. When you understand ultimate materiality, it is very easy. When you discern ultimate mentality, there may be a little bit difficulty. After that, what you should try, what you should continue, another stage. Samudaya Dhammandupa Siva Chaitya Same Viharati. Vaya Dhammandupa Siva Chaitya Same Viharati. Samudaya Vaya Dhammandupa Siva Chaitya Same Viharati. He contemplate in mind, it is nature of arising. He contemplate mind, he contemplate in mind, it is nature of vanishing. Or he contemplate, in mind, it is nature of rising and vanishing. What is this? This is maybe you must try dependent origination. You must discern cause and effect. Then you must contemplate this ultimate mentality, ultimate materiality in their causes as nature dukkha anatta. Up to their arising and passing away, you must try to see clearly. Udiyabhya. So here three insight knowledge. Number one, picture parika jnana, discerning cause and effect. Number two, samasana jnana, contemplating them as nature dukkha anatta. Number three, udiyabhya jnana. You should try to see their rising and vanishing movement. But there are two types of vanishing, arising and passing away. Causal arising and causal passing away. Momentary arising and momentary passing away. I already explained these two types before. So, because of the arising of causes, the five aggregates arise. Because of the complete cessation of five causes, five aggregates is completely without remainder. These two types of causal arising and passing away also. This one type of causal arising and passing away also you must try to understand. Another is momentary rising and passing away. Cause also as soon as they arise, they pass away, so they are nature. In fact, five aggregates are also as soon as they arise, they pass away, so they are nature. So in this way you must contemplate both of them. Then another Buddha instruct. Ati Chaitanti va panasa sati pachupatita hodi yawa diva jnana mataya sati mataya. Or as mindfulness, that there is mind is simply established in him to the extent, to the necessary, to the existence necessary for the bare knowledge and mindfulness. What is the meaning? When he is contemplating ultimate mentality, materiality as nature dukkha anatta, he clearly see moment by moment rising in vanishing or rising in dissolution. At that time, you should emphasize only dissolution. You should not try to see rising stage. When you emphasize only dissolution, then slowly you will see only dissolution, not rising. At that time, when your concentration improves further, develops further, then slowly you will see only ultimate mentality, materiality. At that time, you will not see any kalapas. You will see only ultimate mentality and ultimate materiality only. At that time, if you continue this way of practice, slowly your insight will increase stage by stage. Your mindfulness, which is associated with insight knowledge, also will increase further, stage by stage, especially up to Sankharupaka Jnana stage. If you practice in this way, when your Sankharupaka Jnana or insight knowledge become mature, one day you will realize Nibbana by your part and fruition knowledge. At the end of your matured insight knowledge, part and fruition knowledge will arise. Part and fruition knowledge will realize Nibbana, unconditioned element as object. So at that time, if you practice again and again, stage by stage, depending on your parami, one day you may attain arhatship. Your arhampa knowledge and fruition knowledge also will realize Nibbana. At that time, your part and arhampa knowledge will destroy the defilements completely without remainder. Referring to that stage, Buddha continue his instruction. Anisito cha viharati na cha pinchi logi upadhyati. And he advised independent, not clinging to anything in the world. At that time, no clinging, no attachment, all craving disappear. Eon ko bhikkhu bhikkhu chaitya chaitya nupasya viharati. Because in this way, that is how a bhikkhu contemplate mind as mind. This is conclusion. If you want to contemplate mind as mind, you must do in this way. That is how a bhikkhu contemplate mind as mind. This is conclusion. Okay. Any question?
Say though, I have a question about, is it as you are contemplating the dissolution that the appearance as terror and then the disenchantment?
Yes, disenchantment, terror, disenchantment, and escape. To escape, desire to escape. Feeling bored, nibbinja,
bored. So it becomes boring.
So this insight knowledge, just stage by stage, will increase.
Sir, when you are observing materiality and when you actually see it, from that moment, when you emerge, how do you translate that to your normal behavior? Is it that at that time must you have yoniso manasikara, or you might see these things happening, but when you get up and go to have lunch or whatever it is, how do you, on the way, if you meet somebody, or how do you react, or in practical life?
They may have desire to go back to Canada. Is it true? Because this insight knowledge can remove the filaments temporarily only. While you are meditating, you can see small particles, kalabas. If you analyze, you understand ultimate materiality. It is true. As soon as you emerge from your meditation practice, you can see this is me, this is woman, this is who, this is who, this is who. You understand only. Because your insight, no much power, can remove the filaments, including deity ignorance, including deity wrong belief. They can remove, and your insight can remove these filaments temporarily only. So because of this reason, they want to go back to Canada tomorrow.
Canada, sir, also can have insight in Canada also.
Yes.
Yeah, not only United States.
At the time, they will be disappeared temporarily. No question? If there is no question, sharing merit. Okay. Idame punya.
Idame punya.
Asavakaya.
Asavakaya.
Mahahodu.
Mahahodu.
Idame sila.
Idame sila.
Idame punya.
Idame punya.
Nibbana sa.
Nibbana sa.
Pachayo.
Pachayo.
Hodu.
Hodu.
Idame punya.
Idame punya.
Sabba sadana.
Sabba satana.
Pajima.
Pajema.
Tisabe.
Tisabe.
Mesama.
Mesama.
Punya baga.
Punya baga.
Labandu.
Labantu. Sadhu.